happy to welcome Peter Fury. Thanks so much for joining me, Peter. I hope everything's going okay.
Yeah, it's nice to speak to you again, Adam. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, first of all, we were just talking about there. Hughie's got a fight coming up. If you wouldn't mind telling me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Hughie's in heavy training at the moment. We're just waiting to see what's happening with the rankings, and hopefully trying to get Hughie in, a final eliminator.
Yeah. So, are there any names you can talk to us about, or are you still not even that far yet?
We're not that far yet. It just depends what the governing bodies are going to do when they reshuffle the rankings, and we'll just wait and see what happens. But he's in training anyway, and he's prepared, and expect Hughie out again on December the 3rd or December the 10th.
Okay, fantastic. And going back a little bit, obviously Hughie was meant to fight Andy Ruiz. That was announced, and then Mr. Ruiz said he didn't want to do it, and then people are talking about him against Joseph Parker for the WBO belt, which looks likely to be taken off Tyson from what I've read. What exactly happened there? It seems quite strange. 1 minute he's meant to be fighting Hughie Fury, and then the next minute he's supposedly fighting Joseph Parker for the vacant title.
Well, you can't make people fight. The fight was made, and it was agreed. And Andy Ruiz Jr., for whatever reason, he pulled out the fight. And if he's taking on Joseph Parker, but it won't be for the WBO title, because I'm quite sure there'll be match-offs and there'll be eliminators to box. So I think maybe he will box him, and there'll be somebody else. I think there'll be a couple of fights before any decision is determined to see who does fight for the title. But obviously, as well, we have to see exactly what's happening with Tyson.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's playing a big role in that. Touching on Tyson, I don't want to go over things like Rolling Stone magazine, but I suppose the best way for me to put it is you did a really good interview with Ingram Jones on Bayloric Boxing, which kind of explained everything what's going on.
Yeah, thank you.
Obviously, it's been a week since that's passed, and there's been some quite encouraging tweets from Tyson today, thanking all his fans, and then there was quite a funny one with him lying with all the belts, and I think he tagged in every major news outlet out there into the tweet. What's happened since that interview in the past week? How have things been since then?
I think it's been okay. Look, Tyson Fury, he will say things to. When you're at an all-time low, you'll say things to, this is what people want, so I'll tell them anything. That's not to say that he's not been doing anything he shouldn't. Only he knows that. But I can assure you, there was things in his Rolling Stones interview which wasn't correct.
Oh, really?
Saying he hadn't been in the gym and he hadn't been training for 5 months and all this. Well, that clearly wasn't true. But also, saying he's been on cocaine for God knows how many months. That's not true either. So it's like anything else. Whether he has been taking some at some stage, that's up to him. And he, like I said, he did test positive, so we assume he must have done.
Yeah.
But as far as I put it down to the depression, I think he's at an all-time low mentally. So I think this is just an outburst of that. It's just one of them things. It's sad really, because when somebody's in such a low place, people should not be trying to interview him, because they're hanging on every word he says, whether it be true or false.
Yeah, well, it's a real shame. Looking at it from a fan's point of view. In Britain, we haven't really had a fighter that's been able to really rule the world. Really, we've had great champions and people who have been a world champion for a while. But in Tyson Fury, there's someone there who can really do that, really rule the heavyweight division for many years to come. So I think from a fan's point of view, that's the most frustrating thing about it.
It's frustrating for the fans. It's certainly frustrating for me.
Yeah, of course.
We've worked, me and Tyson, tirelessly for the last 7 years or something. It's been a roller coaster ride. Getting him up there, fighting eliminator after eliminator. He was being denied a lot of the times. everybody's disappointed. You've got Frank Warren, Box Nation TV, invested a lot of time, money, and everything else. You know, they was wanting a super fight. They wanted Tyson to flagship their Box Nation.
Yeah, of course.
You know, we've got Mick Hennessy, who's put his whole life into Tyson.
Of course, yes.
You know, right from the very beginning. So, you know, I can understand everybody's point of view. You know, although it's heart-wrenching for me to see my nephew, you know, talking about himself like that. I'm not really bothered about what people say about my family.
Yeah.
I know Tyson.
Yeah.
You know, so that's outsiders don't know anything. But when I've got my nephew saying the things he says and getting a public perception of him, which is definitely not him, you know, it's that's frustrating for me because it's like I said, he's a very nice young man, and obviously he has to be a nice young man for me to be as dedicated as I was over the years and be dedicated with him.
Yeah.
You know, he is a real character. But people need to see and understand Tyson's psychic. You know, he says stuff in jest. He'll say stuff to get a wind up out of people. You've seen him say things, loads of things over the years, and you know, it's just he does totally the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just his character, and that's the way he is. But unfortunately now, he's a world champion, and everything he says is different. Because where he could joke before and use his own personality, now all of a sudden it's changed. Now it seems, and he's rightfully saying, you know, it feels like a witch hunt against him because he can't be himself, and I think that's what gets to Tyson more than anything. Yeah. He's got to control everything, and he does not like saying things which he's got to think about, or as he calls it, have a key in his back.
Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Well, it's kind of funny because as soon as you came back from Germany, having achieved such a great thing, had you started to notice the press turning then, or did it come after you got back, or did you not even know it had really happened, and then before you know it, there's a bit of a hate campaign going on?
Yeah. I thought Tyson probably feels that, and but look, it's like anything else. You win the public over by achieving things, and you just, you know, the more adversity you get should make you stronger. You know, we proved the world wrong, or you know, I should say he proved the world wrong when he got in that ring and he beat Vladimir Klitschko in his own backyard in Germany. This is a guy that was 11 years undefeated. So he proved everybody wrong. Nobody gives Tyson Fury a prayer. But he done so well out there. You know, he gave Vladimir a boxing lesson. So showed the talent of him there. You know, so I think he's got many fans. He has got a lot of fans.
Yeah, yes.
And I think it's just unfortunate that you know, mainly the media, the press, you know, they know he's a little bit volatile. And they hang on every word he says, and this is it. But I think it's a transition as well. Tyson being a world champion, and I suppose you do have to behave like a world champion. So everybody, it's just a different sphere, isn't it? He's on a different level to what he used to be. So he's had to come to terms with it, and I think it's been very hard on him.
Yeah, so it's a big shame because, you know, we don't get many heavyweight world champions in this country, so it has been sad to see. But what's kind of positive I've seen coming out from yourself the last couple of days, you're kind of suggesting he will be returning to the ring some point next year.
I've no doubt. You know, I've heard many things many times with him, and me assessing him, I've no doubt he will be back. I think he's going through a low patch at the moment. He is seeking medical attention. He's getting medical help, and I think he'll respond to it. I think Tyson just needs to reflect on his achievement. I think he needs to clear up all of these allegations against him, and you know, have a fresh start, and just get on with his life. He's only just turned 28, which is very young for a heavyweight. Yeah. So to predict somebody's future at just turned 28 and he's on top of the world is I'd have to be insane myself to believe he's never going to set some gloves on again. I believe he will be back. I believe he'll benefit from this. I think when he does reflect, I think he can come out and he can tell the public exactly how he really does feel and how he thinks things have got on top of him and everything else. And you know what they say, to make things, to get stronger, you need to speak about it.
Yeah.
And not hold things in. So I sincerely hope and I believe he will make a full recovery and he will be back.
Well, it's funny, I spoke to Jonathan Banks, the trainer of Vladimir Klitschko, the other day, and he said Vladimir Klitschko still really wants to fight Tyson Fury. So, that door doesn't seem to be completely closed. He's still very popular, and Deontay Wilder was saying he hope he comes back. So I think everyone within boxing, not necessarily the people outside of it, definitely want him back in the ring. I certainly do. So it has been very encouraging what you have been saying. So that's been.
Well, look, I certainly do. I've said all along for many years. We never ventured into boxing for money purposes. I want a legacy for my family. I've got Tyson. He's at the top. He's at the top of the tree. All right, we've had a bit of a blip here, but my opinion is he'll be back. This is an undefeated, exceptional fighter, and I want to prove that he is the best heavyweight on the planet, not just by one win, but by wiping out the division. So that's my plan for Tyson. I've got my son Hughie coming through. He's on the verge of a world title himself. He'll fight definitely for a world title in 2017.
Yeah.
And I'm confident he'll be picking up another belt. And then all my predictions of what's happened all these years ago will have come true, So that's what I'm working on. I'm as determined as ever to make that happen.
Yeah. Well, talking about getting back to Hughie there, he's quite highly ranked in the WBO, so I'm assuming that's the sort of the brown belt is the one you're after.
Yeah, that's the route he'll go. If anything happens with the belts for Tyson and they become vacant, then hopefully Hughie will be in one of them box offs, and they'll contest the belts between them. So Hughie could be well fighting for that belt next year.
So the obviously the Anthony Joshua thing, Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn made an offer to you. Was that just one offer and no more negotiation, or is that completely dead? Because that seemed quite probable at one point.
Yeah, that was a one offer. That was a non-negotiating thing. We put a counter offer in, and they never come back to us at all. So obviously they presumed it was a mile away from what they wanted, and they moved on, and we moved on. Oh. There's no more to be said on it, really. We can all give opinions on what's what, which is to me a load of bollocks. We was asked to take the fight, and we accepted it. And I can assure you, we never priced ourselves out of it, because I've heard rumours of this is what people say, but we could say the same thing about that side and say, well, they underpriced it, knowing we wouldn't take it. So it's all crap. So what I'm saying to you, that fight will happen sooner or later.
Okay, all right, good to hear. Obviously, quite interesting in the heavyweight division. Luis Ortiz was signed by Matchroom Sport. What do you make of that signing? Do you think that's a good thing for the heavyweight division?
I think it's a good thing. I think Luis Ortiz is a very good fighter. He's a technical genius, the guy. He can definitely fight.
Yeah.
We just have to see, youth plays a big part. And like I said, we have to see. But he's right up there as one of the leading top contenders of this era right now. Okay,
fantastic. Well, finally, we'll move on to, we're talking about you trying to build a legacy. You certainly look to be doing that, and you've signed Con Sheehan recently. I had the good fortune to speak to him last week. Tell us a little bit about Con and how far you think he can go.
I like everything about him because he's a nice young man and he listens. And he listens intently and he trains very hard. And he's an athlete. And that's what I look for. I don't look for big powerhouses, because when they step up on the world platform, you can keep blowing away all these stiffs, if you want to call them, coming up through the division. But when you mix with some quality, like the likes of the Luis Ortizes of the world who can box, you've got problems because you're not banging them out. So I prefer guys who's got real boxing skill and ability and agility and can move, the speed and movement, not somebody that's going to blow up or they're too slow or they've got too much power. it all depends what you look for in a person. And I look for a genuine athlete. That's somebody with real talent who can go the rounds, have plenty in the tank if he's under pressure. Because I train my fighters so they're always under pressure. Because it's all right being a killer, hitting the target. What happens if you can't hit the target? And what happens if you're in somebody who's trying to take your head off? So these are all the things that I look for in fighters. And for me, I like the noble art of boxing. It's a chess game on a world level. The one who's got the most brains, the one who's got the most cunning in the ring, and everything else. It's not just about the tough guy competition. It's a serious business is boxing on a world level. And you have to be a serious individual to not only win a world title, but to maintain and hold them. And that's why I have so much regard for Vladimir Klitschko, because the guy is a genius in his mind. He's a very, very clever, astute guy. And to hold the belt for that amount of time means nothing but admiration.
Yeah, of course. With Con, he had one fight when I think he joined you, or maybe two. He's had a couple of fights since. He was a very distinguished amateur. How's he managed coming over to like the professional ranks? How's that transition been for him?
The transition is never easy, because when you've had like close to 300 amateur fights, and he's 27, so he must have turned over, I think, when he was just 26.
Yeah. Because
he only had one fight and nearly a year went by. Yeah. And obviously he's been with us now a few months. He's had 2 fights. So he's really progressing. He's starting to do things right. He's now settling into the pro style.
Yeah.
So it's just tweaking things all the time. But he's developing into it nice, and he's going to be a class heavyweight. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. And is this someone you want to kind of fast track, or is it kind of be quite slowly with him? Because because you were saying about his age there.
Well, he's got, not because of his age, but the experience. He's got a vast amount of amateur experience. He is 27, so he's a mature heavyweight.
Yeah.
He's not old for an heavyweight. Like Louis XIV. What is he? 36, 37?
He's something like that.
So. Yeah, so he's still a young man. So basically, but he's being fast-tracked because he's on or above domestic level already.
Yeah.
So he's going for the Irish title, which will be his 4th fight.
Yeah.
So it gives you an idea. So he's already looking to pick up belts.
And who's he fighting for the Irish title? Who will he be fighting for that?
We're looking at various opponents now. I'm speaking to MGM tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Who promote him, and we will discuss who he's going to face on the 5th of November. I know he was looking at Big Martin Rogan, so I don't know what's happening with him.
Interesting.
So if he's not taking it, we'll have to look at somebody else.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he's moving along very quickly. It was great to hear what's going on about Con. I've had my eye on him for a while. Are you working with anyone else at the moment, or is it just Hughie and Con, and hopefully when Tyson gets back?
Yeah, that's it at the moment. And I'm working with my young nephew, who's Tommy.
Yeah. Okay.
He's doing really well. He's really coming on. I'm pleased with him. He's like. It reminds me of one of these prodigies, where you've got them from the beginning, and it's like you've got a clay in front of you and you're moulding them.
Oh, okay. So yeah, starting right from the beginning here. What weight's Tommy fighting at?
Tommy at the moment is 14 stone 2, which is about 90 something kilos.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's when you look at the build of him, he's got 9.6% body fat.
Okay. Well.
So he's solid muscle. He's 17 years of age. So I don't know what he's going to be like in a few years. It'll probably be heavier. So again, we'll see what he does, and sometime when he's 18 years of age, if he doesn't get any amateur fights, we'll turn him over, and he can learn his job in the ring properly.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. So it'll be quite.
So I'm probably looking for Tommy. I'll probably turn him over when he's 18, which is not long. He's already 17, isn't he? So within the next year. Sometime in 2017, we'll turn him over, and he'll be fighting in the pro ranks. And he'll be one to watch for sure.
Yeah, is Tommy blessed with the same name, Fury, as yourself?
He certainly is. He's my brother John's son. He's Tyson's brother.
Yeah, I think I've seen a bit of him. Yeah,
he's another one off the family tree.
Oh, fantastic! So, what you were talking about there in building a family legacy, it really seems to be doing that. Your brother as well. He seems to be Tyson's father. He seems to be very involved. I saw him in the corner for Con's fight. He seems to be
Yeah,
taking a role in the team.
he is very much part of the team. I said when he was away, I said I'm looking forward to him getting out.
Yeah,
We spend a lot of time together, me and John, and we're in the gym together. Family, isn't it? So it's a family unit. So I'm very happy, and it's nice to have my brother there. He's a big part of the team. He's Tyson's father, so
yeah,
and he's Tommy's dad, and he's my brother. So where else would he be?
yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, there's been some negative things, but talking to you, on the whole, there's a lot to be thankful about. So,
I think, Adam, it's like this, mate. We've got the linear world champion. People can't say anything. Tyson Fury done what everybody believed he couldn't do.
yeah,
And I know he's not a one-hit wonder because the kid is special. And I know he will be back. And he'll be back better than what he was before. So I'm really looking forward to the future, getting past all the shit and the headaches we've had.
yeah,
And getting on with a fresh slate and doing what we do best. We're not politicians here. We should stick to boxing and training and do what we do best. And winning, and seeing the public faces and getting the admiration and enjoying the winning. That's the key for me. Is enjoying the success and letting them have the top performances and enjoying the young lives and just trying to steer them in the right direction. Because as you know, things can easily go wrong in young people's lives. But I'm confident that Tyson is not a silly young man, and he will be back.
brilliant. Well, I certainly hope so, Peter. It's been amazing to catch up with you again. Great to find out what's going on.
Likewise.
I really hope Tyson gets back. I'm really rooting for him. And I wish all the best with Hughie and for Con as well, Peter.
Thank you very much, Adam. It's been a pleasure.
You take care, Peter. Cheers, mate.
All the best.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.